Welcome to this week's episode of Amanda Makes a Mess. I'm Amanda, and this week we will be looking at messes I've already made. This is Sketchbook 15. I just finished it earlier today. I think it only took me like a little over 2 months maybe to finish it, which for me that's really fast. I've been finishing a lot of sketchbooks this summer, and I think it's because they're just smaller than the ones I usually get. See if I can find it. This, I don't even think it'll fit in the camera frame, but it's 9 by 12. That is the size of the sketchbooks that I used to get. And it took me forever to finish those because every drawing was so big. But obviously I'm getting smaller ones now. So here's what I did to the cover. I used Posca pens for this, I think. It may have been my Artistro pens. It was paint pens anyway. Here is the spine. It says Sketchbook 15, July 16th, 2021, which is when I started it, and I haven't added the date yet. The date is September 20th, 2021 that I finished it. I'm actually surprised that's on there so well still. The spine's been through a lot. And you can see here the cover is starting to peel a little bit. But I will put something on that to hold it after I get done with this. So here's the inside cover. Usually when I start a sketchbook, I have my original character Marisol saying, "Welcome to my sketchbook," and then like something snarky down below because that's just Marisol. But in this one I kind of did a little comic. This says no classified because my name and phone number and address are under there. We don't need to see that. So this is Marisol looking kind of angry, which sometimes that's her usual facial expression, I think. And she's saying, "This one is sunshine themed, seriously. I mean, you know what the sun does to my people, right?" Here we have Marisol again. And she's saying, "Well, anyway, welcome to Sketchbook 15. I'll see you on the last page if I'm not dust before then, I guess." The whole thing about Marisol and Sunshine is that she's a 12-year-old vampire. So she, you know, according to legend, vampires turn to dust when they go out in the sun. Which is not the case with her, but she likes to be dramatic, so... On the next page, we have Chloe. She's a vampire hunter. She's kind of Marisol's keeper, I guess. Yeah. She found Marisol. She didn't know that she was a vampire at first. She thought she was just a little kid. And that's why she didn't kill her. Because, you know, she's a vampire hunter. She kills vampires. And she's saying, "I'd like to take a moment to clarify that the sun will not kill Marisol. That whole thing about the sun being fatal to vampires is just folklore to make people way back when feel safer during the day. But because she has such light-colored skin, the sun will make her very uncomfortable after a while." And this whole speech bubble, you can see here, I had to glue it in because I did my last sketchbook completely with paint pen. And it didn't bleed through, so I was able to use both sides of the page. But here I'm using alcohol markers, and they bleed through really bad. So, since I wanted to use both sides of the page, I had to cover this up with another sheet of paper. And then here we have Sebastian, who is a shapeshifter. He can shapeshift into any kind of cat, but whatever kind of cat he turns into will be black. So like if he's a tiger, he'll be a black tiger. If he's a lion, he'll be a black lion. If he's a house cat, he'll be a black cat. And then it says here, "But she might sparkle," because, you know, vampires from the movie that will not be discussed on this channel. I really hate that movie. It kind of ruined vampires for me, honestly. Yeah, those vampires sparkled when the sunlight hit them. Which, no. Just, no. And here's Marisol getting angry at being compared to the movie that shall not be named vampires. And she's really angry. Her eyes turn red when she's angry. But I want her to look like more demonic, more scary when she's angry. But I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm not sure how I want to go with that. I think maybe I want to make her fangs bigger. I'm not sure. But she's saying, I do not sparkle. And she's really angry. And then here's Chloe again. That she's got a headache now. Because they're arguing. And I hate this drawing. I really hate it. Because I give my art style. People just have huge heads the way I draw people. And when I want to move their hands like anywhere near their head, but like here their arms end up being really distorted. And I don't like that because see how short her upper arms would have to be. Then her forearms have to be huge to get them up by her head. Because the size of people's heads, the way I draw people, they're so disproportionate. And it makes everything else more disproportionate than I would like when I have somebody's hands like up by their head. Like they're fixing their hair or something. It's complicated. But anyway, that's Chloe again. I changed the color for shirt because I don't think that bright pink purple-ish color suited her. And she's saying, will you two stop? We'll see you at the end of the sketchbook where no one will be dust or sparkling. I didn't finish this till August 6th. Sketchbook 15 playlist. This is very similar to the playlist of my last sketchbook. Warriors by Imagine Dragons. I've been listening to a lot of Imagine Dragons lately, but like their older stuff, I'm not crazy about their new album. But that could just be because I've not listened to it enough. I've only listened to it twice, so yeah, there'll probably be more from that in my next sketchbook. Arcadia by Lana Del Rey. I love that song. That's her newest one at this point, and I really like that. Long Story Short by Taylor Swift. This Is Me Trying by Taylor Swift. Moana, as in the Moana movie, not the soundtrack. I watched that like over and over and over and over. Like I don't get tired of it ever. The animated version of Alice in Wonderland, because I've just been turning on Disney Plus in the background while I'm drawing or something, and I just go from one movie to the next. Reflection by Christina Aguilera, like the new version from the new Mulan movie from last year. The Princess and the Frog. Talking Body by Tovlo. Peter Pan, the animated version. I forgot how bad that movie was when I haven't watched it since I was little, and I swear I did not know how offensive that movie was. I could not imagine them making something like that now. That would be, wow. You can tell it was made a long time ago. Candy by Doja Cat. Don't Stop the Music by Rihanna. Cola by Lana Del Rey. Alice by Lady Gaga. Still Rock and Roll by Avril Lavigne. Lucky Strike by Maroon 5. I like that one a lot. There's this girl on YouTube. I don't know her name or anything. It was quite a long time ago when I saw the video. It may not be there anymore. She was a drummer and she was playing Lucky Strike. And she was amazing. Like, she played the drums with like her whole body. It wasn't just her hands, or she had her whole body going. It was like a workout. And she was playing music at the same time. It was amazing. But I don't know her name or anything, so I can't link you to that channel or that video. Celebrity Skin by Hole. I love that. That was in the Captain Marvel movie. That's probably the first time I heard that one in years. I think the last time it was on a movie soundtrack too, probably. Cyanide, Sweet Tooth, Suicide by Shinedown. I love that song. Sweet But Psycho by Ava Max. Literally all the Disney princess movies, yes. Because if you go on Disney Plus and you click search, but you don't search for anything, you just scroll down, there is a little, well, not little, it's actually pretty big, like icon there that says something like Disney Princess Collection or something like that. If you click on it, it is all the Disney Princess movies. And I've been watching a lot of those. And there's also one that says Disney Animation Studios Collection. And if you click on that, it'll give you the like chronological order of all the Disney movies. Like all the way back in the 30s. I did not know Disney animation was going on in the 30s. That's like amazing. Yeah. So I've been watching a lot of Disney movies. I was going to say something else, but I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, I'm not sponsored or in any way associated with Disney Plus, even though I'm like talking about it all the time. So yeah. Porn Star Dancing by My Darkest Days. Grigio Girls by Lady Gaga. And Montero by Lil Nas X. That is becoming one of my favorite songs, honestly. I love the video. It's like so bright and colorful. Like the backgrounds and everything. It looks like something I would draw. Or paint, maybe. Here's a swatch page. There's a lot of swatching in this video. Or in the sketchbook. Well, I guess in the video too. These are the Yoho Fleshtone markers. I was trying to figure out final colors for all of my characters I have back here because they were going to originally be in a comic. But their story has grown so much that I can't put the whole thing in a comic. If I ever get around to doing that, I'll probably have to just write it like a book. But I'm still going to draw them, so I wanted the colors to be consistent. So this is all my Fleshtone markers. And here I have all my pastels from Ohuhu. These are just Ohuhu markers because those are the ones I use the most. This pastel set was pretty big, and honestly, I love the colors in this one. Although some of them are not as pastel as I would prefer. Like there's some mid-tones there, but I do really like those. This is 48 brush tip Ohuhu markers. The ones I have left anyway, because I've had this set for, honestly, I don't know, a while. I got these when they first came out with the brush tip ones. And some of the colors I think have changed since then. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of those. This is my 120. This took forever. The 120 Ohuhu brush tip markers. There are so many of these. I mean, obviously, there's 120. Of course, there's so many of these. But, yeah. That's a lot of colors. Honestly, I don't know why anyone would ever get the set. 120 is just too many markers. Yeah, and I only have 112 out of 120. I think probably some got mixed in with the 48 set and some might have run out of ink because I do use them a lot. Look at that pink. That's a nice pink. I'd like to have a nail polish that color, even though I very rarely do my nails. Okay, so here's the final colors that I decided on for those 3 characters. Yeah, Chloe, Sebastian, and Marisol. So that's 3 characters. Here's their skin, hair, eyes, additional colors for their clothing. Marisol only wears pink and white. Except the last page in here she's wearing black. So, you know, whatever. Here's Chloe's skin, hair, eyes. That the blue grays are for her jeans. This was supposed to be her shirt, but I ended up matching her shirt to her eyes in the second drawing of her, and I think I like that better. For Sebastian, skin, hair, eyes, and then I also used his eyes, his eye color for his clothing. His additional colors are dark grays because I wanted his colors to be black and purple. But if you color anything like solid black with alcohol markers, it makes the whole thing look very flat. So I just use really dark grays instead. Carson, who we didn't see there, he is Sebastian's older cousin and the leader of the Shifters. I think he's probably a dog, but I'm not sure. Like, he can shift into any kind of dog, like pet dog or fox or wolf or whatever. And there's his colors, his hair, his skin, his eyes, and additional colors. I have not completely figured out his design yet, but I know I want him to have like an interesting scar on his face somewhere. But I don't know yet. Here's some more swatches. I got some new watercolor pencils. The art store had them on sale, and I ran out of watercolor pencils like a long time ago. So, I've not had any this good, or I assume they're good because they're Faber-Castell. That's generally a good brand of art supplies. But they really were not very good in the sketchbook. The sketchbook was not meant for wet media except for markers, because it just soaks up water. It's horrible, honestly. So here's what they look like without water. And even without water, they're really good colored pencils. Here's what they look like with water when I tried to blend them, which, I mean, it kind of worked, but not great. I think if I was using different paper, they would work a lot better. Oh, here's a drawing. Here's an actual drawing. Look at that. This is Candy Girl from, oh boy, I think it's election year, Purge election year. She was my favorite character from that movie. The election year is my favorite Purge movie as well. I drew this right before I went to see the Forever Purge. If you're into scary movies, I highly recommend those. They're very good. Oh, this is going to take some explaining. Okay, so my hair used to be blue, pink, purple, and teal, I think. And my blue started to fade. It didn't turn like a lighter blue or anything. It turned green, which, I mean, I was kind of okay with having green hair. It wasn't like all my hair was green. It was just the blue streaks. They were green. But then it faded more, and you could kind of see the blonde under it. And it was like this just disgusting shade of greenish, yellowish nastiness. And I honestly felt like I had snot on my head. And then somebody asked me if my hair was molded, and I was not having a good day that day. So yeah, here's this snot princess, because I guess I had to commemorate that with a drawing. I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened. This was, I don't remember if this was the day or not. Yes, this was the day I went blonde. I dyed my hair blonde. Well, not really dyed it blonde. I just got some color remover and removed all the color from my hair. And it went back to almost platinum blonde in some spots. Yeah. And actually now it's kind of a bluish grayish color, because I dyed it over that with Manic Panic, which is amazing. It's like conditioner, but it has pigment in it. So like the entire time the dye is on my hair, and I'm waiting for it to set so I can rinse my hair like for 30 minutes or 45 or whatever, I'm getting a conditioning treatment too, which is like amazing because my hair needs it. Because of all the bleach my hair goes through. I have had multiple hair colors this year already. We don't really need to talk about that anymore, because that will actually be in a video coming up. I don't know what this is. I don't remember what I used to color this with. I think it might have been partly those watercolor pencils that I swatched back here, and partly my koi watercolors. I know the dress was my watercolors, because it's this really shiny pearlescent white. I've got the set that has the pearlescence in it, and I think I also have the regular set. I'm almost positive her hair and her skin are watercolor pencil, but like not 100% positive. I think the idea was that she was supposed to look like a cloud. Her dress was a cloud, and then she had a rainbow hair, and I don't know what this is. It just looks like a giant rainbow Twizzler. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this is a drawing that I did that turned out really cute, and then I tried to paint it with gouache, and let me tell you, this is not the right paper for gouache, especially if you don't really know what you're doing with it and you've only used it twice. Okay. Yeah, I ruined this. So I took a picture of it with my iPad, and I did the line art for it in Procreate, and then I realized this drawing was not as cute as I thought it was because it looked horrible. So I don't know if I'll be finishing that or not. If I do, you'll probably see it sometime. But yeah, this did not work out at all. This is a Cyclops Girl. Her name's Maeve. I don't know why. She's not a character or anything. I've never drawn her again. But I might see if I can come up with some kind of backstory for her. Maybe she can be a Marisol story somehow. They can be monster girls together. I don't know. Yeah, this was fun. It was weird trying to figure out how to do winged eyeliner on both sides of an eyeball. That, I pity her if she has to do that every morning. But yeah, I guess she lives somewhere cold because she's got this fleece-lined jacket and boots on. I don't know. This was on August 4th. I got this stamp because it was on sale at either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So I started stamping the date on everything. This was one of my characters, not from Marisol's story, but like something different. It's not important what now, because you'll probably never read that and you might never see her again. This is only the second time I've drawn her. She's the main character, so I wanted to make her stand out from the other ones. And so I changed her hair from blonde to orangey reddish. Her name's Lily, by the way. But the way I drew her with the overalls and the stripes and the red hair and how she kind of looks like a doll, I think she looks like Chucky. Like a lot. If Chucky was female, this would be Chucky, okay? It's pretty bad. Ooh, but I used, what are the mild liners? I used mild liners on this one. The first thing I've actually colored completely with mild liners. And I think it actually came out pretty good, besides the striking resemblance to Chucky. Moving on. Ooh, this is when school supplies started coming out, and I found these at Walmart. These are the Crayola Colors of the World pencils. I actually have ended up using these a lot. I really like these skin tones. So yeah, they're skin tones, but they're like actually very realistic skin tones. They're not like bright orange like some of my markers are that claim they're Fleshtone. I really like these. That one is so light you can barely see it. I like the range. Like that one's so light you can barely see it, and this one is almost black. That makes life easier when I'm trying to do dark skin tones. Although this one I think is maybe a little too red. Anyway, here's also the markers. I bought the markers too. I didn't buy the crayons because we very rarely use crayons. Yeah, you can see it's just the colors, same colors, but I think these ones came out a little more pink than these did. Paper Mate Flare scented pens. Ooh, that's these ones like this here. I use those when I want colored outlines on stuff. Like, they're kind of like colored fine liners, but they're felt tips. Like this. I don't know if you can see that or not. I can't see my camera to see what I'm filming. That's one of the drawbacks to doing things this way with the camera suspended up above me. But, yeah. They actually smelled really good. I was surprised. This one smelled like coffee. That smelled like coffee, but like a very, very weak coffee. I was kind of disappointed with that one, to be honest. Lavender and lemon and peaches and cream were probably my favorites. Yeah, it says there's also a pale purple one called Floral Blossoms that smells like lavender, but it has no ink in it. Yes, I could not get that one to work. And the tip wasn't even like purple or anything. It didn't look like it had ever had ink in it. I think they accidentally gave me an empty one. I expected these to stink or have no smell, but most of them smell like fruit. The hazelnut latte one doesn't smell at all. It actually did when I went back and smelled it again later, but it smelled like coffee, which I love, obviously. But it wasn't a strong smell at all. This is a cupcake. I outlined it with these fine liners here, and I colored it with highlighters, and I tried to do a little bit of shading with some colored pencils. But the highlighters I used, I think the pink one might have been going dry or something, because it did not do very well at all. Here I was trying a new art style, kind of. Or more like I was just trying to draw people sideways. Because I cannot draw profiles at all. And wow, was her nose big. But that's better than I usually do. This is a business lady. I don't know why. Here's an old man. I had fun with his nose and his ear. I gave him a big ear because his nose was like gigantic over here and needs something here to balance him out. Yeah, it's an old man. That's about it. I don't remember what I colored these with, but I think it might have been... Ooh, honestly, I don't know. This one I know was those mild liners. I'm really not sure about this one. I don't know. These are mild liners. These aren't new, but I've never used them. Yeah, I hadn't until I used them in the sketchbook. I had pink, red, vermilion, orange, gold, yellow, green, blue, smoke blue, blue, dark blue, violet, magenta, gray, and brown. My handwriting is very crooked. Yes, it is. Some of these are more highlightery neon. Yeah. I mean, they are highlighters, obviously, but that came out kind of neon. That came out kind of neon. I don't like neon colors. The rest are nice. Blue-green looks like swimming pool water. Blue-green. Yes, it does, actually. That looks like swimming pool water. Also, there's no skin tone. This, I actually think I might have ended up using as a skin tone later on. Oh, here we go. Should probably warn you that there's a lot of Harley Quinn in this sketchbook, because I have a Harley Quinn in every single sketchbook I have filled since 2016, when the first Suicide Squad movie came out. And I'm on sketchbook 15, so that's at least 15. And imagine how many I've filled between 2016 and 2019 when I started numbering them. That's a lot of Harley Quinn. You'd think I'd be sick of it by now. So yeah, sketchbook 15's Harley Quinn. August 17th. I wanted to do like child Harley Quinn with her teddy bear, and then I colored it with Sharpies, and it just wrecked the whole thing. And I hated it. This is one of my favorite drawings on this whole sketchbook, honestly, even though it's just a little doodle. It's just this girl and her dog and a bee. Because of the way I drew her, it looked like she was looking at something, so I had to put a bee up there so she'd have something to look at. And it says, dangerous but smiling, bee friend. And The dog's over here going, girl, that's a bee, let's go. Because I guess he doesn't like bees. And over here it says, the dog is meant to be a German Shepherd because I like those. But you can't see its face. You can't. That's probably a good thing. I'm not very good at drawing dogs. He's probably like a seeing eye dog, but for common sense, because if she's playing with bees, there's no way she has any common sense. Yeah, we'll go with that. Oh no, I didn't use that color. That brown fine line, mild liner. I ended up not using that as a skin tone. I used it on her hair. That's what it was. And I used it on dog too. This is another one of my favorites. This is meant to be like a tablecloth on a picnic table with this little French bulldog poking his head up over like the edge of the table, and he's got a rose and he's got sunglasses on, and this is grass behind him. I love this one. I don't know why, but I love this one. This one came out really good, I think. This is I think it's pronounced Samoyed. I could be wrong. If I'm saying this wrong, let me know and tell me how to say it, okay? Because I don't know. This is my favorite dog breed. They're big and white and fluffy like bears. Honestly, I think they look like what would happen if a lion and a polar bear could have a baby. That would be one of these dogs. If I had space and had a dog, I'd have one of these. Where I work, there's one that comes in all the time, but it's a service dog and I'm not allowed touching it. Yeah, I can't touch it. Oh, here we go again. Here's another Harley Quinn that I messed up, so I didn't even bother coloring it. I actually glued these 2 pages shut, but this one came open. So, yeah, she just looks horrible. These are Pilot Friction Pastel highlighters. These are the erasable highlighters. I don't like those because they leave a weird texture. Here's another Harley Quinn. I don't like the drawing. I don't like the color. I hated it. She's saying, is it a werewolf? I've always wanted to meet a werewolf. That's from the scene in Suicide Squad where they're in the plane or the bus or whatever it was. And she's looking at that weasel guy and she's like trying to figure out what he is. But yeah, you can see here the texture, those friction or whatever they are, highlighters left. And they just feel gross. And it streaks and I don't like it. Yeah. Moving on. Here is another Harley Quinn. This is the 4th one. I wanted to draw her in that red dress, but it just would not come out right. Her face is just a mess. She doesn't do anything wrong. Like, it's horrifying. So, here's a girl reading a book. Yeah. And here's where I started with the colored pencils. I don't use colored pencils a lot, but I do want to get better at those. So if anybody knows of a sketchbook that's really, 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 really bad, let me know. Because I need one that I can practice colored pencils in that absolutely will not work with any type of wet media. Because I always intend to practice colored pencils, but then at some point I'll give it up and go back to either alcohol markers or paint pens or some kind of paint. And I need a sketchbook that's really, really bad for wet media so I can do colored pencils. So these are some chocolate covered strawberries. This one is chocolate with chopped nuts. I don't know if that's a thing or not. It might be. This one is chocolate with white chocolate drizzle. This one has white chocolate with chocolate drizzle. Honestly, I think this may be my favorite one just because of the way I did the shading. I added just a tiny, tiny bit of pink here. And then I shaded it with white. And this one, honestly, I don't know if it does on camera or not, but in my sketchbook, that looks so realistic there. And then this one is chocolate with rainbow sprinkles. It's all colored pencil, but the outlines are some kind of brush pen. I don't remember what kind of brush pen they are. I can't remember. But anyway, the highlights are white Posca pen. So here's another Harley Quinn drawing, because I felt like I had to redeem myself because the other ones are turning out so bad. So while I was using colored pencils, I did this one. I went back to Harley Quinn from the first movie, which is the one I usually draw anyway because I love this shirt. I have this shirt, actually. I have the shorts too, but like I don't like them as much as I like the shirt, so I don't really wear those. So I did this one with colored pencil. I didn't realize how transparent they would be, so I didn't erase my guidelines on her face, but yes, this is my favorite Harley Quinn in this whole sketchbook. It actually may be my favorite drawing in this whole sketchbook. I think this one and the puppy were my favorites. So here is me trying to fill some pages with Posca pens. Posca pens didn't do so well in the sketchbook. They really ripped up the paper. These are some stamps that I bought for like $1.98 or 98 cents or something at Walmart because I wanted to see what I could do with them. Turns out not much. This ink pad came with them, and then it was just like a handful of these little foam stamps. Yeah. I'll probably never use those again. They'll probably get donated. And then I wrote, "This is Halloween," because, you know, the song from Nightmare Before Christmas, "This is Halloween." Because there's no other Halloween songs, so we all know that one. Yeah. And here we have the last page. See, back here, Marisol was complaining about how this book is sunshine themed. So here she's saying, "Hello darkness, my old friend. It's about time." I also colored this one with colored pencils. I finished this earlier today, actually. I wanted to give her skin a blue undertone because she is dead. She's a vampire. I think if I'd had a lighter blue, it would have worked better. It came out a little splotchy, even after I used the pencil over it. And here we have sketchbook number 15, July 10th to September 18th, 2021. That's not right. It took me until the 20th to finish coloring this. So, that is the last page because I can't use this page. I swatched everything on the back of it. And that's it. So, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video with your friends. Comment below if there's anything you'd like to see me do in the future. And I will see you next week. I upload every Saturday at noon. Bye for now.